The MG ZS EV has been in the Indian market for about a couple of years and it has done fairly well in terms of sales. But now MG has gone ahead and given it a makeover, and not just a cosmetic one, but it gets major updates in terms of its motor, range and features as well. So what kind of difference do these upgrades mean to you as a buyer or as a driver or as an occupant? And how much better is the ZS EV now, and what kind of value does it offer for the purchase value? That's exactly what we'll find out over the next few minutes. In terms of design, the ZS gets a significant makeover. Well, in terms of silhouette, there's not much of a difference, but if you look at the face, that's where the majority of changes have taken place. So now, if you look at these headlamps, these are borrowed from the Aster. These are much more sleeker. They have a smart LED DRL as well and give the ZS a much more modern appeal. The biggest change, however, is this grille. Now, this new pattern grille, of course, it's an EV, so it's completely shut off because being an electric vehicle, it doesn't really have any kind of radiators or it doesn't need air for cooling. So this gives it a very nice and a futuristic look. Now, one of the other changes in this grille is the fact that where in the older ZS you had the logo that used to just flip open and exposing the charging sockets. In this one, there is a different mechanism. You have the door here on the side and you've got the charging sockets here. Now, while the older one, the mechanism was a bit tacky, I'm still not a very big fan of this as well. The build quality around this could have been much better. The fit could have been much more flush. So this is quite visible from a distance. So this is something that the fit and finish could be improved upon. Beyond that, even the bumpers are new. And when you move over to the side, on sides you get these very striking alloy wheels. Now these are very different from the old windmill design alloy wheels that we had. These ones cover a lot more area. They hopefully will also aid in terms of aerodynamic performance, thereby bringing down the drag and hence enhancing the overall efficiency. Beyond that, the overall side profile doesn't get any major change. Of course, yes, there are these roof rails and the electric badge, which is there at the same place. And if you look at this ZS EV from a side angle, well, it's not bad. And there's no reason why they had to give it a major changeover. It still looks like a smart, compact SUV. Now, once you move to the rear section, again, the new bits include the tail lamps and, of course, the bumper. The tail lamps, you can see the similarity with the Aster, and the element, again, inside looks modern. The tail lamp gives the overall rear section a much more sharper and a tighter look. The bumpers, too, have a lot of aggressive creases around them, and it has a dual tone option as well. So as a result of this, the car now looks much more sleeker, a bit more modern, and of course, a bit more premium as well. Now step inside the cabin of the new MG ZS EV, and there's not a major change, but there are changes enough to give you a sort of a refreshed feeling. Now, if you look at the dashboard, the design stays the same, but you get this faux carbon fiber finish around the dashboard, so it just gives it a bit more sporty profile. The biggest change, however, is this new infotainment screen. Instead of the old 8-inch unit, now you get this much better looking 10.1-inch unit. And of course, the interface and the user interface, it remains largely the same, but now this comes with a lot of new connected features which we are used to seeing on the Aster. It also gets the climate control buttons, which again have been borrowed from the Aster. So as a result of this, when you look at the center console, it just looks a lot more premium and a lot more modern than the outgoing ZS EV. Now, some of the notable new features include a 360-degree camera, and of course, this also gives you the option of switching between 3D and 2D modes. So this again works well, helps you get in and out of tight spaces very nicely. The only bit of improvement that I would expect from the system is the resolution of the camera. I think the system can do with a little bit better resolution and especially that would help in evening or night times. But beyond that, it also gets blind spot detection, it gets lane change assist, and rear cross traffic alert. So it just adds a lot more to the safety aspect. And as a result of this new instrument cluster, its addition is a very welcome change in the ZS EV's cabin. Beyond that, the feature list is quite rich and comparable with any SUV in this price bracket. You get a wireless charger, you get Type C and a normal USB charging outlet, you get a 12-volt socket here. Even the practical storage space is very nice. You have enough space in the doors to stow away 1 liter water bottles and a lot more stuff. Even the cup holder here offer good space. The driver armrest also again offers good amount of space. So in terms of cabin storage space and features, it's very well equipped. There's of course this large panoramic sunroof, which I am sure a lot of people will love. And this is a feature that Indian buyers have really found a very strong liking to. So that's a very good addition in the ZS EV. Of course, it was there in the older model as well, and it just continues. As far as the space goes, there is not any kind of change in terms of space because dimensionally, there's no major change in the vehicle's wheelbase or the length. You get the same amount of space in the back, which means the ZS was already a spacious vehicle and it continues to be so. You get decent amount of legroom, you get good amount of knee room. The seat itself is quite nice. It has a good amount of cushioning and it is comfortable for a family even when you're out on a long road trip. And now let's talk about the biggest change in the new ZS, and that's its electric powertrain. Now, the new ZS gets a much bigger 50.3 kilowatt hour battery instead of the 44.5 kilowatt hour one in the previous model. As a result of this, now you get a higher range. The company claims it's 461 kilometers on a full charge. Now, I had the older ZS for a few months as a long-term vehicle, and realistically, it would every time it would give me around 300 to 310 kilometers of range. So, with this added range, now you can expect a real-world efficiency, a real world range, in fact, of around 350 kilometers, which is a very good range. It'll allow you to do your daily commute and a lot more at, with just one charge per week. So it just increases the convenience and lowers the range anxiety further, which is a very good thing. In terms of power, also now this gets a bump. It now offers 176 PS of power, as a result of which it now accelerates faster and feels a little more fun to drive. It is an electric vehicle, so of course it has all the torque available right from 0 RPM, and that means off the line it can be quicker than its petrol and diesel rivals. And also, once you get up to high speeds, I mean, getting up to triple digit speeds and maintaining high digit speeds on the highway is not a problem at all. So, combine its increased power, better acceleration, the increased range, and you get a vehicle, an electric vehicle that can do good distance. You can actually commute easily on the highways, go from one city to another, maintain good speeds on the highway in all sort of environments. This vehicle just feels very comfortable and at home. As far as driving modes go, well, there's no change. You still get three of them: normal, eco, and sport. Of course, sport gives you more power, lets you go faster. Eco helps you save more juice in the battery and gives you more range. In terms of brake regeneration, also, again, your controls stay the same. You still get the same curse button here in the lower console, and you can toggle between the kind of regen force that you're looking for. You can opt for the strongest one, or you can reduce it depending on where you're driving, and that just adds a little more to your range every time you decelerate or brake. So overall, if I have to look at the driving experience of the ZS EV, I would say it has just improved from where it left with the previous model. It now gives you more range. It is more fun to drive. It continues to be a very refined and a smooth vehicle in terms of driving experience. And now, of course, it has just gotten better in every department. As far as ride and handling is concerned, well, there's not a major change here. The battery is placed underneath the body, and around high speed bends, you can feel the weight of the battery dragging the vehicle down. But again, that's only when you're pushing it really hard. On normal conditions, in a straight line, stability is very good. This compact SUV stays planted, and the braking again is good. And around corners, it can carry a fair bit of speed. There is, however, understeer and a body roll, but again, the mechanical grip is there, so you can manage to go towards or through your intended line as long as you're not going overboard. So now that we've established the new MG ZS EV is better in every way, and all of the updates that have been given to this vehicle just add more to the convenience and the usability, well, it's time to discuss the kind of value for money it offers. Now, this vehicle is offered in two variants, Excite and Exclusive. Exclusive is the top version, which is the one that we are driving right now, and it will cost you 25.88 lakh ex showroom. The Excite version, which is the lower variant, will cost you about 22 lakh showroom. Now, the Excite variant, however, is not available for delivery right now. That the deliveries will start from somewhere around July, and this is the version that you can get right now. But you can, of course, book the Excite version. And the final prices, now this being an EV, the final prices will depend on which city you're living in, because different state governments also have different kind of subsidies for electric vehicles. So your actual last selling price will vary basis the city you're in. But for the price, I will say the new ZS just offers a very good package. It offers a good interior, now an improved set of features. It's much more convenient to drive. The biggest thing is that now it's more powerful, it's more fun to drive, and most importantly, it offers a higher range. And this actual real world range of about 350 kilometers is something that will really appeal to a lot of consumers. And I will take the example of Delhi, because Delhi government recently made an announcement wherein the Delhi government is going to install the high-speed electric chargers across various locations in the city, and they are going to price the charging cost starting from rupees 2 per unit, which will mean rupees 2 per kilowatt hour. And if that happens, just imagine the kind of running cost you can get from a car like this. Right now, what we are getting is a little over 5 kilometers per kilowatt hour. Now it's a 50.3 kilowatt hour battery. So at this range, already we are talking about 250 kilometers plus range. But this is because we are testing it. So your real world usage, like I said, would bring you to about 350 kilometers of usage. And when you're charging one unit, 1 kilowatt hour for just 2 rupees, that means you juice up the battery in about a little over 100 rupees. You just pay 100 rupees for traveling 350 kilometers, of course, subject to the Delhi government providing those rates. But it's phenomenal. It's game changing compared to the most fuel efficient diesel or petrol vehicle. And there's just no match. And that's why, no wonder, the future is electric, and it seems quite nice.